First of all, thank you. Can you hear me? Okay, good. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just separating this 40 pages of my speech, so I'll try not to be too long, but bear with me. First of all, welcome. For those of you that I have not met, and I've met many of you here while Michael was in the hospital and so on. I'm Michael's dad, Jim. If you don't know me or I have not met you, please find me. Tell me your name. I probably should have kept a list with photos of everybody I've met.
It's like by your mouth, Jim. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm not used to using the microphone. Anyway, as I said, I probably should have had photos with names so I could remember who they are. You all have an advantage because you have to remember Jim. Big deal. Anyhow, is that thing going up and down? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to introduce Michael's family. You all know Kat, Jillian, and Nolan. Michael has two older brothers, Jeff and his daughter, Cammie. And Cammie has two daughters, Payson and Jade. Cammie was not able to be here. Jeff is here somewhere. I just talked to him a second ago. My second boy is Jeff's brother, Chris, and his wife, Lisa. They have a daughter, Stephanie, a daughter, Cassie. Her husband is Bill, and their children are Ben, Alex, and Zoe. And all of them are here somewhere. There they are, if you want to wave. Kat's mother, Edie, is here. She's sitting in front row with Kat's brother, Bob. So introduce yourself to them. I'm sure they'd be glad to meet all of you, just as I've been fortunate to meet all of you during all this time. But to continue on for just a minute, we're here gathered not to mourn Michael's passing. Hopefully that will never end, rightly so. But today we are celebrating his life. How blessed we all are that he chose to share his life with us, and how privileged we are to be a small part of his. I'm sure that many of you probably have memories of Michael, for I don't know how many years, 20-some, seemed like 100. Some of the antics he tried to pull once in a while. But I'd like to share a couple quick stories with you. When Mike was in the hospital, Jillian and Nolan purchased two stuffed animals. Many of you saw them. One was a pig and one was a dog that looked like their dog Baxter. I don't remember who bought which one, but one of the days in the hospital, somehow the pig's bottom got dirty. Jillian caught it, and so she was trying to clean it. We were all trying to help her. The nurse came in, went and got a nice wet cloth, and I'm sure it was part of his duty, but he helped Jillian clean the bottom of the pig. So now we have a pig, might even be out here somewhere, with a nice clean bottom. And we all like to think that our kids are perfect, but we know that's not true. During Mike's college education would have cost me a heck of a lot less if it wasn't for all the unpaid parking tickets that I got from the university. His excuse was always, but Dad, I had to get to class and I had to park somewhere. I said, yeah, big deal. Because all I'm doing is sending $25 every week to the university to pay for a parking ticket. I'll make this short. My fondest memory of all is the night my phone rang at about 11:30 at night, and I thought, oh no, now what happened? It was Michael on the other end, and I said, what's the matter? He said, I just asked Kat to marry me. I was awake enough to know what the answer was going to be, but I said, so what did she say? Obviously, she said yes. Thank God, because now he became Kat's problem. And I have a new wonderful daughter-in-law, two wonderful grandkids, Jillian and Nolan, who will still bring a part of his life into mine. So even though Michael's not with us, he is with us. So I'm very thankful for that. So I'll cut this short. Enjoy our celebration of Michael's life. Keep his memory in your hearts. And thank you all for being here.
Jeff. I'm the oldest brother. Thank you all for being here. I think not only are we celebrating my brother, I think, actually I know, we should all be celebrating ourselves. We should be celebrating that we were honored and had the privilege of knowing Mike. So instead of celebrating Mike, I think we should all celebrate ourselves being fortunate to have known him. I'm just winging this. When you leave Southwest Nebraska at 4:30 a.m., you leave your notes on the kitchen counter. So we're gonna wing it. You know, my brother introduced me to. Well, first of all, Mike had an amazing sense of humor. Just off the cuff, you never knew what he was going to say. And the thing with Mike is, he introduced me, we were both fans of Adam Sandler and Chris Farley and Monty Python, and we had so much fun getting little comedy clips from YouTube and sending to each other. And I said, oh, you think that's fun to watch this one? And then I tried to find another one and send it to him. You know, Mike also introduced me to a lot of music that I would have never listened to before. He was very passionate about music. Whoever thought I would listen to somebody called Echo and the Bunnymen? It's Echo and the Bunnymen. He said, just give it a try. No, okay. Just not sure what else to say. You know, everybody's going to say a lot of nice things. I want to talk to Nolan. Where's Julian? I gotta try to get this. Your dad was. He's smart, kind, compassionate, caring. He would give the shirt off his back to help anybody. And I hope and pray that you two grow up be exactly like your father. If you do that, you're going to go a long ways. You'll have tons of friends and an amazing life. So I want you to listen to what everybody has to say today and reflect on it. I hope I grow up to be like your father.
I've already been telling his jokes. I'm ahead of you.
What?
I'm ahead of you. I've already been telling his jokes to everybody. I'm ahead of you. Don't worry about that.
You're telling your father's jokes to people?
Oh, yeah. I made it school appropriate. Don't worry. I made it school appropriate. Don't worry. But yes,
Oh, Jillian.
For example, one of my friends was going so slow that he looked at her and said, come on, Cletus, hurry up. No, Cletus, let's go. We ain't got all day.
Keep telling these jokes. And keep that alive. I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you all for coming. Enjoy the celebration.
You run over to Kat's house and get them reprinted, Jeff? You run over to Kat's house and get them reprinted? I love my notes too. So I had to reprint them. Anyway, I'm Lisa, I'm Mike's sister-in-law. I'm Mike's older brother's wife, the middle brother. When Chris and I were married and having babies, we were starting lives as grown-ups, Mike was there in the background, but he was in middle school, kind of that annoying little brother. As he grew into a man, we attended the family events together, but he was in college, he was getting his first apartment, he was always there, but just not in the same stage of life as the rest of us. He spoke fondly of his friends, going adventuring in Europe, attending college events, and planning for his future as a grown-up. As he aged and became his own person, his love for music, writing, and all things eclectic formed. When he started dating Kat, things really started to change. She was nice. We met a few times. And then when his older brother Jeff got married in Cambridge, way out in western Nebraska, the reception, it's kind of like the Catalina wine mixer. Thank you. With Chris and Mike wearing their finest wedding attire, and Kat and I kind of lingered in the background for a bit. We discovered that we had a little more in common than we initially thought. Then the wine started to flow. Mike visited with my parents, who are not able to be here, but they were very, very fond of Mike. Kat and I hung out, and for one night we became best friends. We were acting like we were 12. Mike would be making a huge mistake by letting her go, and I told Mike that he needed to keep her. By the end of the reception, Kat and I were like two giddy little schoolgirls running around giggling. But Mike needed to know how serious I was about keeping Kat. You know how they say that babysitters always make the best stories? Well, he jumped on his back, wrapped my arms around his neck, put him in a headlock, and demanded that he put a ring on Kat's finger. He assured me that he would, and he held up his end of the promise. A few months later, Kat called me one night around midnight, apparently after they talked to Jim, shrieking like a banshee that he finally proposed. And ever since that night, the two were now one. Mike was never alone. Kat was never alone. They were, it was a twofer. It was Kat and Mike, Mike and Kat. When we visited them, they took us to fancy dinners. They came down for our kids' events, for graduations, celebrations. Mike and Chris developed their own language, comprised entirely of stupid movie quotes. It was Adam Sandler, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, Chris Farley. They knew all of them, every single line. Mike was always the man behind the scenes, getting his family to places and ensuring that everybody had a good time. You could see him soaking in all the manly knowledge from his dad, my dad, his older brothers, all maintaining that adolescent wit that we all love. When Jillian came along, I remember Mike fighting back the tears, so scared for his wife and daughter, trying to navigate having such a sick little girl. He loved them both so much, and he wasn't afraid to show it. And then they had Nolan, and their world was completely filled with birthdays, dance recitals, holidays, day trips to worlds of fun. Mike maintained that childlike sense of humor and his love for stupid movie quotes while mastering the more mundane arts of cooking, home maintenance, and juggling the kids' schedules. He never made big proclamations about how much he loved his family, but you could see it. It was the little things. The way he bragged about Jillian's developing interest in music, or Kat's dedication to yoga, or Nolan's love for sports and scouting. It was learning sign language and explaining the way things worked. It was the way he looked at Kat, the way he called her wifey, the way he talked to his kids, and the way he would do anything for them without question. When it came to being a dedicated family man, Mike understood the assignment. And apparently he was kind of a big deal. Maya Angelou had a famous quote, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." That doesn't hold true for Mike. He spoke in memorable ways, ways I won't forget. He did so much for other people that it would be hard to forget all the things that he did for all of us. And he made people feel heard, loved, and treasured. I think for Mike, Ray Berlin said it best, "The song has ended, but the melody lingers on."